For as long as we consume media or we hang out with other people, even if they're friends, we get this parasitical feeling of being behind in life. I think it's more prevalent now in these times when we're all locked inside and all we can do is just consume and consume. At first, I thought this was just a me thing, that these were non existent issues that I'd have made up in my own mind. But I wanted to see if this phenomenon actually occurred for other people as well. So, after talking to a lot of friends and several other people, I've realized that almost everyone has gone through this or still is going through this phase or this feeling, whether they're a teenager like myself or, a grown adult, someone who's way farther ahead in life. And especially for me at this age, I get the feeling that I'm way behind in life. But that feeling seems to vary with my perspective and mood at any given day. Sometimes I feel as though I'm doing actually good for myself, that, I'm ahead of others, or I am where I should be, at least at this point in my life. But on other days, it seems as though I've achieved nothing. Because that's when I compare myself to people younger than me or even the same age as me. And just seeing someone achieve way more just gives me, at least, feelings of sadness. And I think I'm not alone in this feeling. For some people, this feeling of being behind in life, this may be a driving force, just to brute force their way through everything and just push them further. But for a lot of people, it demotivates them and gives them a feeling of unworthiness and just pushes a lot of people further down this pit of self-pity. We all know our time on earth is limited. And I'll just speak for myself. In my case, I know that anything I do in my life, within moral boundaries of course, anything I do will be remembered for at most a century, if even that. And I think this is the same for almost everyone. We won't be remembered for very long. Our life in the greater picture will be inconsequential. And despite this, there's a beauty in it, that we still give our present moment our all. We still strive to make a difference, to put a mark on this world. There's a quote, comparison is the thief of joy. I think this is one of the main reasons why we feel this way. Humans are naturally competitive. We strive to become better than others. Hence, we compare ourselves to others. So whenever we see someone doing better than us, whether it's someone doing something as simple as getting higher grades than us or something more personal, like an esports player joining a world-class team, just seeing this gap of us versus others gives us a feeling of anger, of sadness. And I think the second reason would be that we see, or at least we get conditioned to see life as a race. We're always told that we must have achieved this by this age or that by that age. From childhood to college, we've been conditioned to believe that there are these certain checkboxes that must be filled at very specific point in our lives. And although many of those checkboxes are crucial to be ticked off, a lot of them do deprive people of joy and happiness and just give them further feelings of confusion. I believe this goes hand in hand with what I talked about earlier, comparing ourselves to other people. Because, life can't be a race if there's no other racer. We give value to ourselves on a metric or on a scale that's arbitrary, that's made up. This race of where we are in life versus where we should be clouds our judgment and shrouds our perspective on our own self-worth and ruins the self-esteem of a lot of people. We feel as though we're left behind. Behind who? Behind what? We compare ourselves or give value to ourselves compared to other people's success. So by default, we're gonna be at a disadvantage. And just realizing this has been an epiphany for me, a breath of freedom, to say the least. Acceptance of this has been a relief for me. Just accepting the fact that everyone is going through the same thing, whether if they're successful or not, they're older, they're younger than me. Just that everyone is going through the same struggles of wanting to not be in a race and instead be in their own bubble and be able to live in their own time zone and not be concerned with how others are feeling. I think that when the day comes, when I can accept that there's no such thing as being behind in life, that's just using a scale that's wrong, that's arbitrary, that's based on the success of others and not your own, I'll be able to accept that I'm doing the best I can and that my best is enough. Another thing I'd like to say, that just because we shouldn't compare ourselves to other people, and that since everyone is in their own time zone, this doesn't mean that we should never even compare ourselves to someone or never even look at someone else. Because as Nathaniel Drew said, who was my inspiration for this video, let's say you're a farmer and the farmer next door is doing the same things you are, or so you think, but they're achieving way better results. It's gonna be in your best interest to find out what they're doing. And of course, I don't think anyone watching this video is a farmer, but let's say there is someone the same age as you and they've achieved way more than you, or even a little bit more than you. What you or anyone else should take away from that is that you still have that much room to improve. There's no limit to your potential. That anyone, no matter how young or how old, they can achieve anything they want. All they have to do is put in the work. And in fact, the only person you should ever compare yourself to is yourself. You should compete against yourself. If you've improved even 10% compared to last year, that's development. That's a huge leap in my eyes, at least. That's progress. That shows that you're willing to improve even if you're feeling that you're behind in life, which doesn't actually exist. And this is something I need to remind myself of constantly. So I made this to remind myself and anyone else going through the same thing. Because I think we all need to be reminded from time to time.